More third age action coming your way today. I'll be playing as the Golden Horde of Rhun, and at the core of my army are the elite dragons regiments, the Rim. Rim, the Dragon's Will, they're going to be my heavy cavalry. Great armor value and huge charge bonus, some of the finest cavalry in all of Middle-earth. Up front, we've got the Rim, the Dragon's Claws, they're my pikemen up front, just going to tie down enemy infantry so that my cavalry and skirmishers can do their work. Behind that, my heavy infantry, the Rim, and then over on the flank, the Rim, the Dragon's Fire. Devastating archers with very long range. They're going to be situated in a nice position to shoot into the flank of the approaching Haradrim. As you can see, my army is split into two separate sections. One is going to be down on the valley floor below, and the other in this cliff up top. I have half my army up here, and you can see I have two of my Dragon's Fire up here, and then two catapults overlooking this choke point. In a really good position, really hard to assault that position. And you can see some of the men of Harad moving up now, some Trollmen, some Hashari, and some South Round Warband moving up, some Variag Lancers over on the right. And this map is so cool because there's this level, an elevation to it that you don't see in other maps on Total War. And I think this is one of my favorite custom battles on Third Age so far. Seriously, this map is amazingly done. Mumakil moving up the center now, some of the most devastating, horrifying creatures to deal with in all of Middle-earth. Massive elephants moving up the center here, and I'm just going to do my best to try to hold down against this charge because it's going to be brutal. Mumakil, you guys have seen them in the movies. What they can do is horrifying, and I do have a bunch of pikemen up front, but the Mumakil have 6 hit points, massive attack and defense values, and their charge is coming right through, just going to bash through my front line of pikemen. They're going to turn around and bash right into the back of my heavy infantry, just tossing them like ragdolls. And it's kind of what I expected. And I having so many elite troops to try to deal with them in the beginning of a battle, probably not that smart, but I was hoping the pikemen might be able to hold against the charge of the Mumakil. Obviously not. They're just going to pull right through and start messing up my formation, and the rest of the Haradrim down on the valley floor is going to follow that charge up, and you can see my entire army is already in disarray at this point. Variag Lancers moving up the center. This is not smart from Gojira. He is going to charge directly onto the pike walls, but he does have infantry moving up behind that, and the Mumakil have already made their presence felt in this battle, just completely disrupting the center of my formation on the bottom. My cavalry can't really do much against the Mumakil right now. I need to do way more HP damage before I can commit them. Up top, things are going way better. I have a disgusting killing zone set up right here. So, South Round Warband getting tied down by my Dragon's Skin. The hammer and axe units, the really heavy infantry, and some of the pike units for the Dragon's regiments. I'm going to tie down and cut through pretty much everything up top. And I have my archers up top shooting into this blob of Haradrim infantry, and then of course, I have those catapults shooting in as well. They've got a really nice line of sight, and I haven't friendly fired yet, even though I've gotten close a couple of times. So up top, I think this engagement is going to go really well for me. He did charge onto the front of my pikes, and I had some heavy infantry to back it up. And I'm just going to use wave tactics up here. Just grind them down, really get some really nice shots off with the catapults, do those morale penalties, do the AoE damage there. Hopefully be able to beat them up top, because down below, things are going to go horribly for me. I don't have an answer for the Mumakil. I'm going to shoot in with my Dragon's Fire, and they are getting some really good shots off, but with a 6 hit point unit with like 40 defense, you don't have any idea how much damage you're actually doing to Mumakil like this. So you can see my army's in disarray. It's getting destroyed right now. I'm going to try to countercharge the Mumakil with my heavy cavalry, one of my units there. They're not going to do very well, and the Hashari are now through the pike wall and doing a bunch of damage to my Dragon's regiments down here. So that engagement in and of itself not going to go horribly for me, but the Mumakil have pulled all the way through, and now they're going to start advancing up the side of this mountain here that I've occupied. So I do have some heavy infantry in the back here in reserve. I've left a bunch. I've left some clan warriors and the Rim, the axe infantry, to try to tie down anything that might come up behind. My idea had first been to just use wave tactics to grind down the Haradrim up top. What I didn't realize was that Gojira and the Haradrim were going to try to pull the Mumakils all the way through and then charge up the side of the mountain. So I'm going to commit some of my reserves there to tie down the Mumakil as long as possible. If I can break through the Haradrim up top before the Mumakils get to me, I should be in a fine position. However, Mumakil do not have any trouble dealing with heavy infantry like this. They don't have any bonus versus cav or large units at all. So I'm just going to try to survive this charge. Mumakil coming up here. Again, massive charge. Going to pull right through, do a bunch of damage. And he doesn't even have to stay in melee with me. He can just literally pull through and then go directly for a hammer and anvil up top. But my idea is hold them down, get some shots into them with the Dragon's Fire from up top. But they're goring me right now. They're just eviscerating me down below. He's going to pull through. I can't tie them down long enough. I have only lost like 20 or 30 men there. You would think I would have taken more damage, but it doesn't matter because the Mumakil do cause fear, and they're about to get about as big a hammer and anvil as you could possibly hope for into the back of my Dragon's regiments and clan warriors, and they're just going to start pulling through and bashing everything that's already tied down. And this was an engagement that I was going to win, and now things are going to get way tougher for me. So I just got a really nice catapult shot right there, and at this point I get really mad because I have catapults shooting in, and you're going to see one of the catapults go directly through the Mumakil. And I don't know if it's a hitbox issue or if it actually did damage, but 6 hit points is just too much to get killed by a single shot from a catapult. But you saw that flaming ball go directly through the elephant, and it looked like it did no damage there. So I was pretty upset about that because it would have been awesome to see a Mumakil drop right there from a direct hit, but not going to drop. Might have been a hitbox issue. Either way, elephants, the Mumakil just completely destroying my lines up there. Things are getting really scary. Down below, a bunch of the Haradrim have broken through. I do have my cavalry still alive, but the Variag Lancers and the Trollmen of Harad and some other units, the Hashari, are moving up now. Most of my Dragon's regiments are dead. My archers are still alive. They are still shooting in from the flank, and they've racked up quite a bit of kills. And I've lost one of my Innisrim, the Dragon's Will. The heavy cavalry, one of those units, is already pretty much completely depleted. And now Mumakil still being a huge pain in my ass at this point. Like, they've pulled up now to what would have been a really difficult position to assail for any unit except for massive elephants. And they're just going to start pulling through and destroying all my archers up here. And one of the interesting things about Mumakil in this mod is they also have 60 archers on each one of those tents on the top of the elephants. So those archers actually have a crazy rate of fire. It's not just the damage from the elephants themselves that do a bunch of damage. The archers up top can actually rack up a bunch of kills as well. So Mumakil probably up to like 500 kills already. They've made me very, very sad. But I'm not out of this yet. Balance bar has shifted in his favor. Huge shot right there. I think that might have been friendly fire, actually. I think I did just kill a bunch of my own clan warriors right there with the catapult. But the Harad men coming up the side of the cliff, charging in from behind, reinforcements for the guys up top. Things are starting to definitely shift in Gojira's and the men of Harad's favor. I do have some of my heaviest infantry still alive, and I do still have a full-strength gen unit, that really heavy cav, and like I said, they are some of the finest cavalry in all of Middle-earth, some of the best cav in this mod, so they will be able to do some damage. Gonna cycle charge into the Hashari right here, gonna try to do as much damage as I possibly can, cycle charge and then pull out. But cavalry does seem nerfed in 3rd Age. I don't know, Call of Warhammer and 3rd Age both have very different outlooks on how cavalry should be used. It feels like in this mod, maybe charge bonus or impact damage was reduced, because it definitely seems like when you charge in, you don't do quite as much damage as you do in Vanilla Medieval 2 or in Call of Warhammer. And the other thing about Call of Warhammer is a bunch of the elite cavalry units have 2 or 3 hit points. In this mod, there are very few units that have multiple hit points as I charge into some of these Harad archers. I think only Trolls and Saruman and Nazgul and maybe the Trollmen of Harad have 2 HP. There are very few units that have 2 HP, so that's actually a pretty big deal. Even the best cavalry in this mod can get ground down pretty quickly against lower tier units if they're outnumbered. So I'm just trying to break everything down below. That's proven very difficult. The men of Harad have definitely proven very sturdy, surviving a lot of my attacks from the cavalry, and even that charge into archer unit didn't just obliterate those archers. They're still in the fight, and I'm going to have to cycle charge a few more times before they rout. But Mumakil, still haven't killed a single one of them yet. No idea how much HP damage I've done. And I'm frustrated at this point because, like, am I close to killing them? Are they going to die anytime soon? I still have no idea. But second charge coming in from Dragon's Will. Going to charge into the back. Not a great charge because he was pulling away. That is one thing you can kind of abuse in Medieval 2. You can pull away from enemy cab charges, and the cab charge will kind of stop and not really drive into the center of your formation. So that was very smart from Gojira there. Not going to kill as many as I should, but I'm going to just leave them in melee at this point. I feel like I can route this unit pretty quickly if I just let them grind it out. Maybe not the best idea. Cycle charging is the best strategy in any Medieval 2 mod. Gonna lose a few guys here that I probably shouldn't have, but either way, these archers are not going to survive melee combat here. They'll rout soon. And while we're at it, can we just take a second here to marvel at the map making abilities for the Third Age mod creators? Maps like this are why I hate what we have in Rome 2 and Attila. You look at Shogun 2 and Third Age and Total War Arena, those games demonstrate how important it is for custom maps to get made for multiplayer. It really dramatically enhances replayability for me, and I think a lot of other players. And I think it just allows for way more interesting strategies and tactics and asymmetrical warfare, which is what we've seen in this replay so far. Just look at this map. Like a choke point in the middle of a mountain pass that makes for a massive kill zone up top. Like a kind of obscured pathway at the base of the mountain where my archers are still there, still shooting into the flank of the Haradrim where he doesn't even notice. Flanking charges and hammer and anvils from behind, like a pathway up behind my army. Just forget that there are Mumakil on the field for a second. A battle like this could never happen on Attila or Rome 2 because all the maps are generic fields and hills and trees. I really want Creative Assembly to start making custom maps again. It makes multiplayer so much more interesting. But here, Mumakil coming up and my archers are like, bring it down, bring it down, bring it, and it's not enough. They're just gonna, every time I see those Mumakil charge into my guys, I just cry. I cry every time. Because it's like, why, why are they not dead yet? I've shot them so much this game. I've literally had my Dragon's Fire, at least one unit of it, shooting at them the entire battle from above. And still haven't lost a single guy yet. They ran through pikes to destroy my army. They ran through one of the best cav units in the game. I don't know what more I can do to kill them, and they're still just goring me, and it's making me really, really sad. But at this point, I'm done. Like, there's no hope for me to win this battle. I just need to salvage some glory out of this, get some more kills here at the end. So I'm going to commit my archers into melee. I think they might have been out of ammunition at this point. They were literally shooting into the flank of the Haradrim that entire replay down below, and it still wasn't enough to kill that many guys. I mean, I did end up killing most of the men down below. Some of them did run up the side of that mountain pass behind the Mumakil, but I did win down here. Up top, everything's pretty much dead. That hammer and anvil proved way too much for my guys. Of course, getting rear charged by massive elephants is not the most pleasant experience. They kind of bent over and had to take it. And now I've just got this one archer unit, maybe remnants of an archer unit up top, and my heavy cav general. So we can put this in a double fast forward while the rest of the Haradrim move down the cliff. And we're going to just try to make one last final stand here and try to survive. I mean, my archers not going to be able to do particularly well against Variag Lancer charges, of course. These aren't elite tier cavalry by any means. They're just mid tier, but they're still cav and they're still charging into my archers, which is not what you want to have happen. But yeah, I'm definitely out of ammunition at this point. Just going to try to tie him down, and at this point, the only glory I can possibly salvage is killing at least one Mumakil. If I can see one stupid elephant drop in this battle, I'm going to be a happy guy. Otherwise, I'm not going to be happy with how I perform this game. A couple unfortunate Variag Lancers going to get caught up with my archers here, going to cut them down. Slice, slice, stab, stab, they're going to go down. And they're actually holding their own pretty well here. They do have high armor values, of course, and archers in Medieval 2 in general seem to do much better in melee than they do in subsequent Total Wars. If you go to like Shogun 2, oh, nice voice crack, Indie Pride. If you go back to like Shogun 2, or you go to any of the newer Total Wars, Attila, archers in general almost never do okay in melee. But in Medieval 2, because everything's like one has the same amount of hit points, and generally the archers have okay-ish melee stats, at least for the higher tier stuff, they can do alright. So even though they're fighting uphill, and now I mean they're fighting trollmen of Harad, which have 2 hit points, they're not going to be able to win this engagement. But they can actually do relatively okay in melee, and we saw that with the Harad archers as well. They killed a couple of my heavy cav once I got in there also, so that's interesting. But Mumakil charging now, pulling through everything, destroying everything. Those archers will die very soon, and that will leave only my general left. And what I've done is I pulled him all the way back to the cliff. We see Mumakil rear up, and they actually have a special attack animation as well, and that will kill anyone who's under their feet when they stomp down. So that's a nice little animation that the Third Age content creators added in there as well. But my general is on the top of this cliff over here in the pass. We'll get a good look at him in a second as we watch the rest of the Haradrim army coming down in the mountain pass. So yeah, the Haradrim just cutting down some of my routing units there at the end, and we're going to cut to my glorious Dragon's Will cavalry making their final charge downhill into the middle of the Haradrim, into the 2 hit point Trollmen of Harad, and this is actually going to go really poorly for me, and I was a little sad about this charge because I wanted it to be glorious. It's going to kill very few. My gen's going to go down only a couple seconds later, even though I have a full strength unit of Cav, and I'm not going to end up killing any Mumakil this game either. So the combined forces of the Trollmen and the Variag Lancers is going to prove too much for my supposed best cavalry in Middle-earth. They're not really going to show it right there in that last charge. But they're going to rout very soon because of army losses. And the men of Harad are going to take the field. And again, not going to kill any Mumakil. So really upset with that. All I wanted to see was one stupid elephant go down this battle. And it's just not going to happen. My Dragon's regiments are all going to get slaughtered to the last man or run from the battlefield screaming like little girls. And Gojira is going to take the field with those OP Mumakil. So looking at kills here, I got 1,500 kills. Gojira got about 2,200, and about 400 of those were my units routing after the Mumakil sent them running. I don't blame any of them for running screaming like little girls. My general actually did quite well, almost 300 kills there. The Innisrim, the Dragon's Will, did really well. Some of my pikemen and some of my axemen did quite well in melee. My clan warriors didn't really do a whole lot, and one of my archers got almost 200 kills. So some of my units did really well, but honestly, I just had no answer for the Mumakil. I don't know how to kill them. If you guys have any inclination on how to kill those guys easier or how I could have done this better, please feel free to let me know. I'm not really sure what I could have done different there. Hope you guys enjoyed. See y'all next time.